Imagine growing up where this is your classroom, these are your friends, and this is your playground. My name's Alison Teal, and I was raised around the world, homeschooled by my adventure photographer parents. Now I'm kind of like a female Indiana Jones, with a pink surfboard. Basing out of my grass shack in Hawaii, I travel the world, sharing secrets of survival, sustainability, and happiness through my Alison's Adventures film series. I've lived with some of the most powerful, dangerous, and awe-inspiring animals in the world. But I had yet to meet the king of the forest, the grizzly bear. Grizzly bears will attack humans unprovoked and are deemed to be the most dangerous animal in North America. And for some inexplicable reason, my number one fear is seeing a grizzly bear. When I was little, we hiked into the desert to live with a Native American tribe who made me my first teddy bear named Hawk Medicine to help conquer my fear of the grizzly. But I never thought I could actually face this phobia until I met Nikki, the bear whisperer. Nikki has lived with grizzly bears for over 10 years and even survived on the coast of British Columbia for over a year and a half with nothing but a rowboat and a cat. And when I met her, she invited me to her sacred island to finally meet the great grizzly bear. I set off from home sweet Hawaii on my eco-transportation, excited to see Canada for the first time. I usually approach everything in life with glee and courage, but I honestly wasn't sure I was going to survive this adventure. But I wasn't going to let fear stop me yet. Welcome to British Columbia.
Oh, I finally made it to Canada! It's been quite a mission, and now I gotta try to find some waves.
If this was potentially one of my last days on Earth, I wasn't going to come all the way to Canada and not surf. And my prayers were answered in the most unexpected way.
Me and the boys, we went out to check the crab traps, and we seen some girl on a paddleboard with a pink bikini on.
Hi!
Where are you going?
North Island!
All right, I think you're going the right way.
Oh, good!
It might take another month or so. You need a ride?
Where are you going?
We're going to Tofino.
No way! I've heard there's epic waves there.
Tofino was also on the way to Nikki's island, so I hopped on board.
Do you surf?
Yeah.
Nice!
A bit.
A bit?
Turns out, Raph is one of the best surfers in Canada, if not the world. Off we set to catch a wave, and luckily we ran into Raph's pro surf sister Catherine on the way.
So here I am in my parkas, and I'm going surfing, and I've got my wetsuits and everything, and I come around the corner, and there's this crazy girl in her bikini, a pink bikini.
Catherine lent me a wetsuit, and I was ready to rumble.
What do I do with my chin?
This was my first time in a thick wetsuit. The icy ocean made my brain freeze every time I had to go under a wave. But it was pretty darn incredible to surf with the entire Breweiler family in such a new territory. I felt really out of my body that day, and at first I thought it was the ridiculously thick wetsuit. But I think it was grizzly bear nerves. I had to stop avoiding the unknown and get back on my quest up the coast to Nikki's island. Thankfully, Catherine said she'd tow me a ways toward the North Islands. To this day, I'm still not sure how I exactly navigated to the right island, because they kind of all look the same. But Nikki had told me, just look for a white sand beach and sticks.
Whenever I invite people to come out and visit me in the wilderness, most people never do. It's like a journey to get out here. So I'm walking down the river and I'm checking out the salmon. And all of a sudden I see some rustling in the bushes and I'm like, what the heck? And then I'm looking and I see something pink. I'm like, what? And all of a sudden Alison Teal pops out of the forest with her pink surfboard and her pink bikini. And she's actually found me in the middle of nowhere.
Nikki handed me a freshly caught salmon and suggested I put on some clothes, since I had arrived just in time for dinner.
Nikki, what is this? It's bear scat. This is bear poop?
Yeah. It's so purple.
It's berries, so all berries.
No way.
It's not a pie, Alison.
It's a bear poo pie. It almost looks edible. I tend to smile a lot and make jokes when I'm scared. But all I could think about was this grizzly bear watching us through the forest, also hungry for dinner, as it was time for them to store up on food fat for hibernation. And we needed to chow down and get strength for our grizzly adventure the next day, full survivor style.
Now that is what I call a salmon fillet.
Nice. Wow, look at all that smoke. With only a few sticks and Nikki's incredible skills, we were living wild in British Columbia.
Woohoo! We got fire!
There's no such thing as fast food in the wilderness, and after hours of prep and cook time, it made me appreciate that meal that much more.
Did you know this is the first actual wild caught by ourselves salmon that I've ever had?
Nikki brought out her finest china and even shared some of her wild edibles as a garnish.
Wild onion and some mustard. Okay. And that, my friends, is fresh dinner in British Columbia. Cheers! Cheers!
It was by far the best fish I have ever tasted.
Melts in your mouth like pink bliss. People think we're surviving. This is like better than the Four Seasons.
And so was our location. Thankfully, no bears joined us for dinner. And as the sun set over picture-perfect Canada, I began to wonder where we were going to sleep.
Okay, home sweet stump.
Good night, Nikki. Good, Alison. This is how I spent my entire night. I've lived in the most dangerous locations on Earth, and I couldn't figure out where this deep-seated fear of bears was coming from.
Good morning.
It was a bit hard to get going the next morning, but as soon as I saw the light through the trees, I knew it would either be the most magical day of my life or the last day of my life.
I've never seen a grizzly bear in my life, let alone try to actually go see one on purpose. What do we do? Okay, so we're gonna sneak around through the forest, find some bear trails, and then we're gonna sneak up onto the river so that we're not just walking up the river and spook them. We'll come through the forest and then sneak up onto the river and see where they're fishing. Okay.
It's not as if people out here really do that. It's not something like, hey, let's go hang out with the grizzlies today. You know, people don't do that out here, but really me.
So this is like one of the last untouched pristine watersheds where the grizzlies are. Kind of our last sacred place. Up ahead it has never been logged. And it's just a really magical place where the grizzlies come down to the river. It's super exciting. Okay, I'm ready. Let's go.
I've had a lot of close encounters. This time I was walking through the forest and I was bending down to take a drink out of the creek. And for some apparent reason, I didn't notice that there was an 800-pound grizzly bear 3 feet in front of me, also taking a drink. And he never noticed me either. And he stood up on his hind legs and we were like, and he got down on all fours. And he started grunting at me, kind of an aggressive grunt. Kind of lowered his head and was like, and I was like, "Ooh, big man." And I just kind of slightly turned to the side, didn't give him eye contact, and I just took a little half step back. And I took a big breath and I let it out. And as soon as I did that, he took a big breath and let it out. And I was like, oh, it's okay. You are the king of the forest. I'm just here having a little drink. And it was like this embarrassing moment almost that we didn't notice each other because we're like, how did I not see you? How did I not see you? You know, it's like, and then we were just like, okay. And I slowly backed up and he slowly backed up and then he just nonchalantly walked off into the forest. And so I followed him.
And that was the exact stream. Thankfully, she didn't tell me this story until afterward.
And had I been fearful in that moment, had I just panicked and really shown that fear to him, I would have been dead.
If you actually step on a branch, make a big snap, we're just both gonna freeze, okay? And then if I stop, you stop.
Usually, I'm most at home in nature. But today, every stick seemed to jump under my feet. And I saw a side of me even I've never met.
This is one of the most magical, eerie, incredible forests I've ever seen. If I was a grizzly, I would definitely live here.
Little did I know that the path we were walking on was a grizzly trail.
So we just got to the river, and there's a lot of ravens. So we're trying to be extra quiet because they'll give our spot away. Right now, Nikki's down there, running along the river, trying to see if she can spot one before I go out. I'm honestly a little bit scared.
It's wild how fear can take over your body, and I quickly took off my hat, as pink is an alert color to the grizzly bears.
The number one thing I've been told is don't move. He's coming. Where do we go? Can you see it? Don't move.
And then my grizzly bear phobia hit full force.
I'm hiding behind a tree right now, and there's a massive grizzly right on the other side of me.
And she was hiding behind this tree and she couldn't even see it. And I was like, no, it's here, this is so exciting. And she's like, oh, okay. And then she was hiding behind the tree, you gotta come around the tree. And then she poked her head around the tree, and then this bear is like running down the river at us.
Oh my God, it's like right on the way. Right there, what do? Don't move.
But you don't really feel it till the moment you're actually in their presence that you're like, whoa.
This is when Nikki told me to slow my heartbeat because they can sense fear, which made it race even more.
So he's smelling something, I don't know what. But it's not us, because he's looking the other direction.
Oh my gosh, Sherry, this looking at us.
Don't move.
It was literally a foot from us.
And she thought it was coming at us, that it could see us, but it wasn't, it was just chasing the fish.
So they can smell us?
Yeah. And we're like upwind from him, so it kind of sucks. He's smelling somebody else. There's something else coming. I bet another bear is coming.
Oh my gosh, there's another one in the bushes. Are they fighting, or is that love?
No, I don't think that's love.
It just was overwhelming. I mean, it is a wild place, and it was a big bear.
All of a sudden, it was like a grizzly bear spa day. They were everywhere, and actually adorable as they enjoyed their natural playground.
After she took a deep breath and got herself contained, she had that moment where she was able to watch those bears and understand how much I love them. It was just a beautiful, beautiful sight to be able to be there with them. Life is about achieving your dreams. It's about giving yourself permission to do what your heart tells you to do. When we truly live who we are, you find out that you actually can do anything. And you can find who you truly are, being in a place that's free of all distractions of the modern world and what we're supposed to be, and the shoulds and the worries that we carry with us. It's about following where you need to be. When you learn to listen to your intuition, everything that we once thought was miracles and magic is the truth. I think that's the most important thing about saving our planet. It's not so much about fighting for this or fighting for that. It's more about opening your heart, becoming a better person. In that way, we make better decisions and we care for our natural world. I'm getting all emotional about this. And really, I think that's the way to save our planet, is by getting a wild heart.
I just wanted to share this moment with you guys because I'm out here. There's a grizzly on the other side of this tree, and I'm just having this overwhelm of emotion. It's just an incredible feeling that I can be so close to one of these creatures. People think are so horrifying, and it's so beautiful. He's probably gonna hear me.
And he did. But instead of eating me, he frolicked off back into the wilderness. And I couldn't believe I finally faced my fear of grizzly bears. I guess sometimes we have to be reminded just how darn special this planet really is. Dolphin! Nikki, check it out! I'm beyond grateful to Nikki for this incredible experience and for helping me get out in one piece. I had a great while to contemplate everything on my paddle home. Sometimes fear can fog your life, and it's scary to push forward into the unknown. But if you keep an open heart to the world around you, the clouds will clear, and nature will always be there to guide you. After bidding farewell to the Great Bear Rainforest, I couldn't leave Canada without getting a glimpse of the other jungle. No matter where you live, every day can be an adventure. And fear has no home in a wild heart.